Hello, everybody. Welcome back to L1 Links with Friends. Today is November 19th. We're still in Thanksgiving countdown, but we're doing business and social for your middle of your week.
And some of you will be having decidedly less festive Thanksgivings this year because you might have something weighing on your mind. And it's becoming more and more that everybody is having this problem.
October layoffs were the worst in 22 years and hit tech workers hard. So this article talks about a lot of companies. It doesn't talk about IBM. IBM had a lot of layoffs, but I'm going to pick on IBM specifically because their guy was like, no, we're going to invest in young people. We're going to hire a lot of, starting people and junior people.
By young people, we mean AI.
Yeah, and in the shareholder call, it's like, oh yeah, we shed all the young people. It's really hard to hire young people. It's hard to get them on board. So they're gone. It's just like, wait.
Meanwhile, young people are like, please give me a job. I'm starving.
And also H-1B.
Yeah.
So the rare person you do need when you need a warm body, let's get that from overseas. That's a good idea. And the newest name on that list?
Verizon is going to cut up to 15,000 jobs in its latest layoff to date. Restructuring begins next week. Now, a lot of these jobs is like Verizon owns, like it's the company store you're buying from Verizon. They're going to franchise those. So those are no longer company owned. They're going to have to be independent owner operated. And so the transition from retail store to franchise, so those people might not really be losing their job, but they're going to shed a lot of people.
Oh, but I bet your job with franchisee is going to have a lot less benefits and perks, probably pay less than your job with Verizon.
Yeah.
And Google announced that they will no longer be allowing sideloading, which is insane because that's literally the only thing that separates them from Apple at this point. Like, they've made it so horrible that everything else is about the same. And maybe they took some of that feedback to heart.
Google is easing up on Android's new sideloading restrictions. A quote-unquote sophisticated user, unquote, will be able to sideload applications on Android. But Google hasn't really detailed what they mean by that.
I think it means they're going to make it really, really annoying to try to dissuade people. And most people will be dissuaded.
Kind of like how if you have a keyword to search something in Gmail, and you have the conversation view turned on, and it's like, oh, here are the emails that match that keyword. And you go there, and there's like 30 things in that thread. It doesn't auto-expand the message that you're looking for. The fastest way is to actually hit the printer icon, which is going to print all of your messages. It expands them all. And then you can do Control F on the printer page to find the keyword.
Text made our life easier.
Yeah. Now, if you turn off conversation view in the email, it works like you'd expect, and it's not insane. But the default is, of course, patented Google insanity.
And we have another casualty to the current downturn in things, or maybe just being bad at their jobs.
Airbnb rival Sonder abruptly shuts down, orders guests to leave. Our laptops were in plastic bags. So these people secured a stay at a Marriott, apparently, and Marriott did not renew their agreement, and Marriott thought that meant they had the right to just kick them out that day. And I'm sure that is against the law wherever they were, but
Sonder's done. They've gone into receivership. They will liquidate. So any plans you had with them, you better rebook.
This is the pre-Thanksgiving insanity we're talking about.
Yeah, and travel has been something that people have suffered with in the recent past. We had the government shutdown. We had the Windows update issues. It's been horrible. And these companies looked at that and they said, you know what? We can make this worse.
Ryanair tries forcing app downloads by eliminating paper boarding passes. You have to do this through the app. You have no choice. Whenever I go through the airport, I'm always surprised at the number of pilots and airline people that are like, oh yeah, I watch the news. So hello, how's it going? Oh. If we have any air traffic controllers that want to engage in the comments below, I'm sorry that you suffered needlessly for the better part of 6 weeks.
Maybe they have been, but it's just been like they're so tired that it's just gibberish in the comment. I would certainly be feeling that kind of insane after that.
So obviously they got some pushback, and they're like, what about people who don't have smartphones? And they're like, well, we think everybody has one. Even though they know that's not true. I guess it will be someday though, right? And Bank of America, they had some work from home employees, and the new trend is to punish them. And that's what they did.
Bank of America faces lawsuit over alleged unpaid computer boot up time. So this is, they don't pay you until after you get the VPN going, and you get logged in, and then you start your time clock. And they also automatically log you out. Like if your lunch is scheduled from like noon to 1, you're immediately kicked out at noon, and you can't get back in until 1. And so you have to start trying to log in and going through that whole square dance. If your computer has a problem, then you're also not on the clock for that. And so they're going to, I mean, this is an open and shut case. This kind of thing has been shown to be things you need to be on the clock for, but you know, Bank of America has gotten away with it for so long that, yeah.
Phone ready is the phrase that they use. You have to be, when you click that time clock, you have to be ready for your phone to ring, but you literally can't be until you download the day's documents, the spreadsheets that you need for that day, which means you go through the whole thing. So, you know, it's kind of like a catch-22. I think they're going to get paid back.
Let's hope.
And Windows, oh boy, does Windows not know what their users want. And you know what? They don't care.
Windows president says the platform is quote-unquote evolving into an agentic OS. Gets cooked on the replies. It's straight up, nobody wants this. The thing that blows my mind here is that people might like having some of the AI features. They might like some of the stuff. But Microsoft so consistently mishandles what your preferences are that you know that it's going to be bad and you just don't want to bother with it.
They already experienced this with Windows Recall. What do? They stopped it for a little while and then put it back. They might do that again here.
Yeah.
But they're not going to change their minds about this.
I'd like to use a local account. No, you don't. I'd like to not use OneDrive. No, you don't. I would like my start menu to work in a sane and reasonable way. No, we're going to just do
What if we just showed you
want.
ads for things in there instead of, you know, your programs and documents?
We're going to let you go to Bing. We're going to put media options in your start menu, and the thing is going to be like more ads, less ads, and some ads. And there's no off option. You have like, you know, those 3 options, but there's no off. And it's I'm talking about web searches, not ads. My bad. I should have said web searches. In my head, it was.
I mean, it's kind of the same thing.
It's kind of the same thing, yeah. So it's like I would like to not call Bing in any way from the start menu. Can I have that option? A lot of users would really like that option, but that option's not there because this is also why they lost. Like the whole Xbox thing. It's like, oh, Game Pass is like legit good, but it is so overshadowed by the fact that Microsoft is so insane with their choices that no one trusts Game Pass, and Sony won in the end. And it's Sony. Like, Sony is no reasonable company either. And yet, Sony versus Microsoft just could not help themselves.
And you might be thinking, how is it that every person in the C-suite of every big tech company gets this wrong? That they know, or we assume that they know, because they spend a lot of money studying us, right? And harvesting our data. They should know that what we want is to control our own devices. And that yet they always go in the opposite direction, except for one man, one shining beacon. And during this press release, he actually came out and said, hey, it's yours. You want to watch videos on it or browse the web or load your own software? Of course you can. It's a computer. What do you think? We're selling you something else? And that's why the people are going to gobble this up.
Valve rejoins the VR hardware wars with standalone Steam frame. And not just the Steam frame, a whole bunch of devices. Gabe is coming with the Gabe Cube.
At Christmas. He's coming for everybody's profits at Christmas.
Well, I think it's 2026.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Why would you release the press stuff right before Christmas?
Yeah, early 2026. Save up your Christmas card money.
These work completely wirelessly. They got a bunch of bleeding edge hardware.
We haven't gotten an official price, have we? I didn't see it in this article.
I don't know. But then the other big thing, like Wendell mentioned, is they got their what is basically going to be the console that is not console-fied. It's going to be the perfect console.
Also, did you see their controller?
We're a little excited. It's maybe a little hyperbolic.
But we already know what it's going to be, right?
Yeah.
Because you can recreate this on a PC with the Steam OS. It's just going to be that.
And the standalone controller is the exact same as the Steam Deck. So every game that works with the Steam Deck controller, and there's now a standalone controller that's like the Steam Deck controller. So that's a lot of fun.
And we had 2, I didn't include a story specifically about the other one, but there is another peripheral that Apple offered that was exactly like this one or close enough to it. And yeah, this is what Apple's up to. So you see, what Gabe is up to is giving the people what they want, and what Apple's up to is whatever this is.
Apple made a $230 crossbody sock. That's a phone holder.
I saw the press page for this, and I scrolled through it, and even all their slick photography and fancy animations could not make me want this.
Look, you can put it over your arm too.
Wow.
It's so versatile.
Wow.
You can put it on your overpriced bag. Look at all the colors.
We're going to have a whole bunch of new experts on topology in terms of folding and dealing with the loop of material.
Now, the other one was the crossbody strap, which is different than this. And also, it's a little cheaper too, right?
Yeah.
But they're going to sell this on Amazon for $5 in a week.
You could get one of these on Etsy and it'd be prettier.
Yeah.
And
Actually
nicer.
handmade and yeah.
Yeah. It probably doesn't cost $230 of labor to have somebody literally knit you one of these.
And Apple, they are maybe not, they don't have their pulse, or their finger on the pulse of their users, because obviously they're offering them $300 piece of
Socks.
yarn.
Yeah.
And they've also missed the point of what people want in a smartphone these days.
Apple reportedly pulls the plug on the iPhone Air 2 after weak sales of its debut model. Hey, Apple, I can help you out here. Why don't you do the iPhone brick? Take the battery size, quadruple it, and then just sell me the iPhone brick.
Make it nearly indestructible. Make the screen nearly indestructible.
I want archaeologists to find it 2,000 years from now and still be able to pull up my contact list.
What's a phone? They whisper to themselves. We all use pigeons now after the wasteland.
And the theme of 2025 has certainly been thirst for power. Not only in the general sense of our leadership, but also literal power generation. There's not enough of it, and there's not going to be for a very, very long time. And here's another great indicator of that.
Data centers in Nvidia's hometown stand empty, awaiting power. And this is California. It's I forget the name of it, but this power company.
Something.
Yeah, I have some personal experience with this power company, and they are just
Santa Clara.
Santa Clara is they're just. California has got a whole series of problems. But yeah, everything is ready to go. They are ready to receive all of the stuff. They literally just can't get the power.
And they suspect 2 to 3 years
Yeah.
for those build-outs.
This is also why the jet engines disappeared. It's one of the temporary solutions is all right, we'll just bring up our data center by bringing on site our own power generation capabilities. It's a little tricky to do in California because California has a lot of laws that are problematic for everything. But yeah, these buildings are going to sit empty, which is insane because they're really done up nice and they're all dressed up and they got nowhere to go.
And ultimately, I got to think that the end game there is they're going to start drinking my milkshake, right? They're going to start slurping up the power that I need in order to give it to the AI data centers. Now, maybe you want to harden yourself against that by installing a battery at home. And one of the most convenient ways you can do that is have one of these mobile batteries that's driving around on wheels. But maybe you want to try one out before you make that commitment. And now you have a great new way to do it because Elon Musk has ruined his business.
Tesla is now renting cars from its showrooms as sales keep crashing. You want to rent a Tesla for a couple weeks to try it before you make the commitment to that purchase? Okay, they're willing to entertain that now.
$60 a day. Yeah, not looking for it. And Nvidia is on top of the world, obviously. Now, we have seen this before. They do come down eventually, and a lot of people are saying, are we in a bubble? Because, hey, these products that they're selling, if the customer can't get enough power to use them in 3 to 4 years, what does this mean exactly? And some people are getting a little spooked.
The headline is SoftBank sells its entire stake in Nvidia for $5.3 billion. They took the money and they immediately invested it in OpenAI.
Which I found that was the confusing part to me. I was like, what?
You gotta do something with it, right?
It's like we're taking the money out of the picks and shovels company and we're
throwing it in the hole. Yeah.
And macOS has got a new version, and that means they have redesigned some stuff, a rare design section. Let's take a look.
This is Tahoe's macOS Tahoe, I guess. They're terrible icons. This seemed like Chris debate.
They're forcing the icons to be inside of a square instead of letting them break the sides, which I don't necessarily mind because I can see how that would be hard to like enforce. So that doesn't bother me, but I just hate the glass style where it's like, there's one that's really bad at the bottom if you keep scrolling. Like some of these glass ones, it's like, it's harder to understand what they are. And also like, if you had a brightly colored background, like you're not going to be able to tell what the hell that is. Just put a solid background on it.
Well,
what is accessibility to these people?
Apparently you're not the only one that hates it.
Yeah.
But generally people do always hate
New
a
things.
redesign.
Oh. Yeah, people always hate a redesign. My only issue is just accessibility. Like, how is someone supposed to know what this is without more context? And you cut off context when you don't have a background.
And moving to social media, we have just a tiny, tiny sampling of social media. And for those of you who have worked in anything to do with websites for the last couple of decades, you know the horrors of these.
Meta is killing off the external Facebook like button.
Hooray.
Don't worry, the code will still work when you embed the like button. It's just not going to render anymore because no one really used that and it was a giant spyware thing.
But now they got the Facebook Pixel or the Meta Pixel, which is just an already invisible version of this, which is what they want. So you don't have to worry about fixing it. They're just going to make it invisible when the time comes, but they will continue to monitor you. And here's an interesting one because this is a business model that's been around for actually quite some time. There's a website, I think it's called Mr. Skin, and this was their entire thing. They would go to movies, they would pull the clips where the naked people were, and they would only post those. But these European countries have some interesting laws about that.
Reddit mod jailed for sharing movie scenes like that in rare moral rights verdict.
So this guy was part of a subreddit called Watch for the Plot. Get it? Read it for the articles. And that was their whole thing. They just went and they clipped them out of movies and they put them up there. And they argued that like this goes beyond just movie clips. This is not just a copyright violation. This is a criminal act because these people are naked. Even though they got paid to be naked. That's a weird one.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about that. It seems strange.
Seems like I would think that every EU country's court system would have something more important to deal with than this. Maybe thousands of things. And here's another weird one because this kind of takes the idea of human autonomy and says, no, we do not have that. You made a commitment.
TikTok influencer ordered to pay $1.75 million for seducing, quote unquote, their manager, leading to the end of his marriage. So this is I don't know. It was hard to unpack this one.
She's some sort of TikTok popular person. He's her manager. And his wife and all of them were like, they would hang out. They were friends. Like, oh, yeah. But secretly, she was seducing him. And so this court agreed.
Like, except like he has no will in that. Like,
yeah, she was accused of engaging in behavior designed to seduce.
Is that a crime?
Yeah, it is. Which is, I was not aware of that. There's another thing in here. I can't remember exactly how they worded it, but something about speech.
Like, morally, you shouldn't do this. But like, of the two people involved, the person who was already married is the one you should be pointing a finger at. Like, he's the one who made a commitment and cheated on his wife. Why is he not being punished?
But it shouldn't be criminal either
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay. So in the complaint, she says that utilize the personal information gained from the friendship to seduce. And that somehow impacted it. So like,
I'm not seeing the criminal law thing here.
The wife would confide in her and be like, I think he's cheating. And then this girl would be like, I think he will, yeah.
Again, scumbag behavior, but not criminal.
Yeah.
It doesn't, it really, the part of it it would be motive. And it's like, why was she doing it? If she wasn't doing it for emotional reasons, then it could be criminal.
Oh, like you think like she was trying to get money out of him somehow?
Or just
But
drama
she
or
was the one
chaos.
generating the money, right?
Yeah, I don't understand that.
I think what she wanted was the D. And she got it.
It's not criminal. A
But it
terrible
is.
thing to do, but
it
yeah.
is criminal. So watch out for
What
that.
state was this in? But it was a
It
southern state.
was definitely in the U.S.
Yeah,
North Carolina.
North Carolina. Yeah.
It was a jury trial.
There's gonna be, like, is this the weird future we live in where, like, I don't know, something about that makes me a little nervous. Where it's like, oh, you're not pure enough. Again, the cheating is wrong, but like, do you really need a jury of your peers for that?
Well, the jury, it's funny you mentioned the jury because they ended up awarding most of that as like added on. I think it was like $200,000 for the crime, but the jury said no, we want the other $1 million on top of that.
Are we missing context here? Like, I just don't understand.
I mean, look, it's RNG who those 12 people are. You might have gotten a lot of spurned ladies on that jury who were like, oh no.
I don't understand it. All right, chat. That's it.
Like much of our modern world.
Yeah, I'm confused all the time.
But we'll be able to laugh at it on Friday with all of the nonsense stories.
Anyway, we'll see you then. Bye.